Everyone, welcome to the Cicero regular town board meeting, Wednesday, April 10th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. If you would, please silence your cell phones and please note there are two exits in the rear of the room and one to the right. And if you would, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing to remember those who are serving in harm's way. Thank you. Would anyone like to come up and speak on behalf of any of the agenda items prior to the meeting? If not, we'll move to Counselor Hogan, number 3.
Approve and accept abstracts. Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve, accept abstract number 14 dated 4/3/2024 and abstract number 15 dated 4/10/2024.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain. Passed.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve, accept the budget modifications as presented.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone should vote no or abstain? Passed.
Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve the hiring of Derek Fields as MEO apprentice per CSEA contract at a pay rate of $29 per hour, start date on or about April 22nd, 2024.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Should vote no or abstain. Passed.
Move for the adoption of a resolution for the town board approval to rent a topsoil screener for 1 month at the rate of $11,500 from Tracy Road Equipment, NYS OGS contract number 23182 from account code 003-5110-4400-0000.
Second.
Discussion. So Chris and I and Dave met the other day and I had some questions about this, about how much topsoil we buy a year versus what we're doing here. And all this dirt came from the parks. Okay. So Dave assured us that this would yield them 5 years worth of topsoil for the next 5 years. So I believe it's probably a pretty good deal. Anyone else? No?
Do we bid this stuff out too, or are we just, because he's already done that in the past, or
So what do you mean?
like the cost?
The cost, so the cost,
It's on.
right.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed.
Oh, sorry. Move for the adoption of a resolution to approve an estimated expenditure of $33,500 to Brickman Rubber Company for approximately 9,600 square feet of rolled fence and border guard material, as well as approximately 995 pre-cut post protectors. This will be installed under the fencing at Central Skyway and Gateway Parks with the pre-approved ARPA funds as part of the park enhancement projects.
Second.
Discussion. So few years back, I asked Teresa to look into this. We had some samples sent to us. They were plastic. They went around under the fencing to help cut down on the cost of maintenance and chemicals. And Teresa did some homework on this and found there was a rubberized material. And I'll let Teresa speak a little bit on behalf of the differences between them.
So this is what the school district uses. We kind of researched, that there's 2 or 3 main companies out there. We got samples of both. Based on the amount that we're getting, the rolls are more cost effective, and based on the amount that we're getting, they're giving us a significant discount for bordering that. But this is the same material that the school district uses for their fields, and it's going to be great because it's going to totally cut back on the amount of weed whacking that we need to do. This isn't just for the fields. Most of it is for the fields, but like at Central Park, it'll also go around the fencing and the playground and some of the bordering fencing, and also at Gateway, the softball field and so forth. So anyway, it'll take us some time to, cut it and have it installed, but it's going to be a game saver on labor and the amount of weed killer chemicals that we have to put down. So
Is it the same company as well as the school districts?
yes. Yep.
Okay. Which is probably why we're getting such a discount as well, right? Are we combining contracts at all or trying to utilize that?
No, just they sell mainly to municipal, parks departments and big schools, colleges, things of that nature. So
Mhm.
depending on the amount that you get, there's different price breaks. So no, but it's just based on the amount that we're getting, but it's 40% off, which is significant compared to the plastic. We originally were thinking of going to the plastic, but then I heard some negative things. The school district had some of that as well, and then they brought up some safety issues that they have when that gets wet. It's really slippery and so forth. So we kind of dove more into this material and the staff, the guys are all excited. We've ordered some of it and tried it out, and it's going to be great.
Good. So the 40% off is just because we're parks and through the towns? Or why are they giving that?
Based on the amount. that
Just
you
the amount.
order? Yeah,
Okay,
based on the amount. Yep.
okay, thank you. That's it.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed. Discussion, anybody have any discussion items?
Mr. Wozniak, I know your crews are out picking up the brush. They picked up a lot from my neighbors and I appreciate all their hard work.
So last night we had our informational meeting and groundbreaking up in Brewerton for the Streetscapes project. I believe the folks up there are pretty excited, and I look forward to seeing the transformation over the next 5 or 6 months. Anyone else? No? Okay. We'll open up the public input. Would anybody like to come up and speak? Would just please state your name and your address.
Can you just hit the button?
Push the button. There we go. It's almost like Teams. You got to remember to turn off the microphone and turn it back on. Mike Boyle, 5984 Heber East Trail, Cicero, New York. Listen, I was on the town website the other day. And I saw this Central New York Land Trust. I think this is a beautiful opportunity to become the Beaver Lake of Cicero. I think it's a great thing. But I also saw on here that we entered into a lease to lease the property, 66 acres. Any reason why we would lease it?
That's correct. We have, in order for us to be able to allow our folks on there, our employees on there to help do some of these some cutting the trees or brush or get a machinery on there that they may need to, to use. We had to get a lease with them because we just can't go on we just can't go on a property like that.
Right, exactly. So why was the lease backdated to March 1st?
Why was it backdated to March 1st?
The town approved it on the 13th minutes.
Yeah,
Then the supervisor would have had to sign it,
yeah.
but it was effective March 1st. Based on what,
I think that was after we spoke to the attorney, I think that was when they drew up the contract and then we made changes to it and then it got given to us. So I don't believe I signed it on March 1st. I signed it later on.
but it says it's backdated to March 1st.
Well, that's the
It's
effective date.
date as of March 1st. The reason I bring it up is because they put on their Facebook post that a bunch of town employees were there helping them put up a gate
Okay,
next to our parking lot.
correct.
Okay. They have $1.2 million in cash based on their financial statements.
The land trust.
Yeah.
Yep.
So why wouldn't they put in their own parking lot off of Lakeshore Road?
Teresa, you want to explain that?
They don't have a parking lot.
The point is they have $1.2 million. Why wouldn't they put a parking lot where it says Marie Woods on Lakeshore Road? Why would they want to use our parking lot and not have to pay to maintenance it or plow it in the winter? If people are going to be, skiing out there, snowmobiling, whatever.
I don't think there's really room. I mean, they'd have to you're saying develop a whole new parking lot?
Yeah, I mean, they got $9 million in assets as a company. Don't get me wrong. I think this company does great things. It's just, we have liability on the parking lot. When people go to park in that parking lot that we own, we have to maintenance, we have to plow. And if you're going to plow it a certain way, you're going to have to do something special there because you're not going to push the snow up to their gate. That's the only way you can.
Well,
get
we
in.
don't plow that end of the parking lot anyways.
Not typically, no.
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 Okay, well, will it be open during the winter?
It will be if people want to park in the front side and either ski back or walk back or snowshoe back, sure.
There was a trail, so there's a couple different ways to access it. The one that you're talking about where the original sign was on Lakeshore Road, for years has been overgrown. No one has used that. You really can't even hike back in there. But there was another trailhead kind of just overuse of time, whatever, from the parking lot. So that seemed like it just seemed like a great place to put the sign in the parking lot. And we have a ton of people that come to William Park to walk their dogs, to whatever, go to the park. And this way they'll see the trailhead there. So we improve some of the drainage, and they paid for the had the sign made, the gate and all of that. All we did was help come in with some pieces of the equipment to install, do the post hole digging and so forth. But I think it's going to be a great added benefit to the park and the community, have them access it
Trust
right
me,
there in
I'm
the parking lot.
not against them doing what they're doing there. My only concern is why are we going to provide labor dollars to clear out trails, provide cutting like you just said? That violates Article 8, Section 1 of the local finance law under New York State law. I mean, I proved that with the Cicero comments. I mean, the town's not allowed to use labor dollars to help and assist them. And we're not a shop for hire that they're going to pay us to use our money at the town that could be used somewhere else to help and develop the trails. I'm all for the project.
Well,
Don't get me wrong.
If that's the truth that I got, then our attorney's office, it gave us some bad advice, if that's the case.
I proved this, but Mike Bragman was against me on it. I went at Bragman years ago.
And I don't, and
And I'm just saying that the state controller's office ruled that the town of Cicero had no right to give any land away to a private company. You
We're not-
can't assist a private company, whether it's a 501(c) or not. It's privately owned, and you can't use town funds in any way to assist a private company. This company gets grants all day long. I mean, if you look at their financial statements, and I'm gonna leave a copy of this with you so you can see what I mean. The financial statements, they're audited,
go ahead, John.
but just look at those financial.
You know, without doing the research, it's difficult for me to comment, but if we have a leasehold interest in the property, then that would seem to be that we have an interest in use and possession of the property, which I'm thinking probably would allow us to do improvements on it.
No, because at the end of the lease, it goes back to them. And there's no
Yeah.
there's no consideration if you read Article 8, Section 1 of the state constitution. It literally did. I mean, I went through this with Hevesy. I sat in his office years ago, back in 2000, when Roy Millette, the former supervisor, and I went down and filed a complaint. And they, I'm just trying to make sure that if you guys go forward with this, this is an issue. If you can figure out another way to do it, then that's fine. But they have the money to pay a contracting company to go in and do that and not put our people at risk from a liability insurance and everything else. Somebody gets hurt, you're gonna get sued.
With Article 1, Section 8, are you referring to the gifts and loans
Local
clause?
finance law. Article
Well,
8,
you said of
Section
this,
1.
of the state constitution, are you referring to the gifts and loans clause?
Well, here. At the back of here, is a copy portion of the local finance law. If you go back into the Cicero record.
Yes, that's the gifts and loans clause.
So technically, that was the same exact type issue that we had with the Cicero Commons when the town of Cicero gave 100 acres of land away to a local corporation, Cicero Local Development Corporation, that was never created by the town. It was created by 3 men. We gave away the land. They had no right to give away the land. Then I was complaining about that, and they tried to get the land back, but it was too late because they had already fire saled the property that they built for 16 million for 2 million. I'm just warning you of the issues up front that could happen. And I think that the attorney should really look into this because, I mean, in the end, that is a violation in my opinion. And I don't want to have the town's money being spent to build trails on private land that's going to maintain as private land, regardless of whether you leased it or not.
I'm not sure I agree with that, but I will certainly look into it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we'll close the public input and the board will move into executive session. Move for the adoption of resolution to enter an executive session involves the medical, financial, or employment history of a particular person or corporation or matters leading to the appointment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation.
Second.
And Mike said second, and we'll have Neil come in with us. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You should vote no
Tongue
or abstain.
twister.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will not be reconvening. Open up the meeting.
Come back and say.
Go ahead.
Move to reopen, regular session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Castleman, I made the motion to adjourn executive session 1 minute ago. It's
I
7:11,
seconded
seconded
that.
by Counselor Bacallo.
Yeah.
And now I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.